Morning.
Good morning. Welcome to Stephen Donnelly's house.
Hello. Hi.
Not the usual MHR offices, but yeah, we're here to kick off our Awareness Day for 2025. This year's theme is Starry Night. Little introduction. I'm Stephen Shield and I'm the Interim Communications and Engagement Manager here at Mental Health Reform, and
This is Stephen Donnelly, the Communications and Membership Officer. So the other Stephen. And
two Stevens.
yeah, it never gets confusing at all. Better than the two Johnnies. But we're delighted to have you here all today. And as you said, we are Mental Health Reform. And forgive us as well for any potential mistakes, but that is part of the creative process, and that's what I've been telling Stephen all morning as well. So we will get through it. So over to Steve. Tell us a little about today.
Yeah, so this is our first ever Awareness Day. It was the brainchild of our interim CEO, Philip Watt, who's watching online, I hope. Hi, Philip. Hi, everyone in the office, by the way. So the whole idea of today is to raise awareness about some of the work that we do as an organisation, and also, to raise some funds as well for our advocacy work. So, as I'll say a million times today, in our link in our bio, there's a donate button, there's a website button, and it will bring you right to our Starry Night webpage, where you can learn a little bit more about what we'll be painting today, which Steve is going to explain in a minute. But it also brings you through some of our work, which we're going to chat through today. So yeah, take an hour if you can, take 5 minutes if you can, watch us paint along here, join at home if you want. We're recording on another camera here, so this will all be available on YouTube for you all to watch. I'm sure everyone will watch this afterwards. And yeah, just take a minute today to think about your own mental health and those around you. It is European Mental Health Week, so I want to give a shout out to our partners, Mental Health Europe. The theme of this year's Mental Health Awareness European Mental Health Week is co-creation, and today Steve and I will be doing a little bit of co-creation.
It's going to be more me.
100%.
Yeah.
So Steve, do you want to talk us through what we'll be doing today?
Sure, yeah, so thanks very much. And basically, this is just going to be an hour for you to kind of switch off. We all have very busy lives, and we're painting here, but if you're at the office and you have a post-it, grab a pen and just doodle. It doesn't have to be anything important. It could just be something on the top of your mind. If you're in class and you want to avoid the lectures, grab that scrap of paper and just get something off your mind and out of your heart. And that's really the beauty of creativity. So as Stephen said, the theme is Starry Night, and we were inspired by Vincent van Gogh. So phenomenal painter, and maybe he's famous for his mental health difficulties that he experienced as well through his artistic career, and how he was able to find the beauty in that, and it's a very powerful message and very iconic work, including like Starry Night as well. So it was something just that we wanted to use as a springboard to start the conversation. Creativity and mental health are so intertwined, like the research there to be able to calm the body down and try and expel some anxiety. Sometimes we don't have the words to say what's really on our mind, but we can paint it, or we can write about it, or make poetry. So that's some of the beauty that we'd like to convey on the simple fact that art is for everybody. It's a common language we all have. You don't have to be a professional like either of us. It can be a pastime, it can be a hobby, it can be a passion, it can be whatever you want to be. So I feel I'm rambling, trying to fill the time. So tell me where you want me. Yeah.
Will we start then, Steve?
Yeah.
Steve is going to start, and then I'm going to join in. So Stephen has a bit of a background in painting. I don't know if in the side you can see some of Steve's other pieces, so he's guiding me a little bit today. So if you want to start, and I'll follow along, Steve.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. And we're a little bit far from the screen, so if anybody's writing comments, please, thank you very much, and we will be checking it sporadically as we get closer. So, firstly, you need some paint. Okay, this is blue. Okay.
This is our easel, by the way. It's definitely not a plate.
Yeah.
So whatever you've got at home, it's just as good as what we've got here. So
IKEA make great easels.
Bit of water first, Steve. Is it?
Maybe just a little bit. So
yeah.
I think part of Vincent's work was just the gestural brushstrokes are so thick and dense, so we don't want it too watery. It can be watery at the start, and then it can get a bit thicker.
Okay.
So you start over there,
bit of
I'll start over here, and maybe for the keen eye at home, you'll see some of this is being drawn in already. That's not cheating. That's okay. It's okay to ask for help and support. So there's a mental health message behind everything. and we're just going to start following these lines.
Yeah, and we're gonna be chatting along in the background. Apologies if our heads are to you guys, but we have to trust the artistic process, isn't that right, Steve?
I can do this blindfolded.
Yeah, leave a comment on the video if you have a background in art. Do you find art helpful for mindfulness? I know lots of people do, Steve.
Yeah, it's a very powerful tool from a therapeutic point of view, or just something as a hobby at home.
Yeah.
I guess I'm talking about therapy. I could introduce myself. So my name is Stephen, and I've been working with mental health reform since January. I have a qualification as a graphic designer. That was my bread and butter for 20 years. And over the last couple of years, I've pivoted into mental health. So I'm a student psychotherapist working now, currently studying in Dublin, and it's been very fulfilling. So to be able to work at mental health reform as well, and it reinforces my therapeutic work, which reinforces my work back at mental health reform, I hope. And Stephen's my manager, so he's just going to pay me compliments because we're on a live feed now.
Only good things.
Only good things.
How are you finding that balance then, Steve? You know, training to be a psychotherapist, working in mental health reform, are they complementary? Do you find?
They're very complementary. I think, to be honest, for me, I've realised that working in mental health, having clients in mental health, sometimes it's important to switch off from mental health as well, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. I find for me, like painting is a great way to unwind if I have time, or a beautiful big canvas like this, which we bought for this. It's nice just to be able to express yourself.
Yeah. And then having obviously that background in graphic design, kind of art is in your blood a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, and I think with graphic design, just like anything on a computer these days, if you make a mistake, all you have to do is hit Control Z, and nobody's hurt. But in painting, you're not afforded that luxury, so I love that challenge, particularly in oil painting. So we're using like time-friendly acrylics here, which will dry pretty quickly. But I find with oils, like if you make a mistake, you're kind of snookered. So it makes you have to think, slow down, and figure out what your next move is going to be.
That's the thing, isn't it? Like, I mean, just even what you said there about taking that time just to actually think about what we're doing on our daily basis. I feel like life is very quick. Life moves very quickly. So having that moment to actually think about the work we're doing and put that little bit extra care in can really make such a difference.
Yeah.
As you can see, I'm not doing that right now, but look, it helps. Yeah, I suppose just about me as well, Steve. I've only just come into December. I became the interim communications manager. So congratulations to the full-time manager, Niamh Fahey, on birth of her beautiful baby boy, and to Sean. Hopefully I've been steering the ship in a good direction since Niamh went to maternity leave, and we're all very excited for her to come back later in the year. But yeah, I think for me, first-time manager, it's been a pleasure to work with you as well, and to glean some knowledge on the graphic design element anyway. I think it's great to have you on board though, Steve. It's brilliant to have you as a colleague, so thanks very much for that.
Oh, thank you. I was teaching him some grinding techniques like 2 minutes before we went live, just to get rid of any nerves. I don't know how influencers do this as a day job, but I feel much calmer now actually. Now we're just getting stuck into it.
And now we can officially call ourselves influencers. If one person paints something from this, we've influenced them. So
I'm quitting my job.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. Big money in influencing, right? So is there a technique to what we're doing with you? I know you kind of mentioned the big brush strokes. We've got 2 paintings going on here. I think mine are a little bit thinner than yours, but
get a bigger brush if you want.
Yeah, I might get a bigger brush now. I'll finish this side that I've done now.
Yeah.
So yeah, what are we doing now? Is this like you put a base layer down earlier? Is that what you said?
Well, no, I just sketched out the lines. So if I had time, I could have done a wash over it.
Okay.
Which would help give some more contrast to the brush strokes. But I think for this, it's just really get the definition of the paint strokes. If you can see here, I'm not teaching you what to do now.
No, please do.
Just to try and get that sense of movement. So like shorter brushes.
Okay.
And these circles are going to be the stars, so you don't have to color them blue. We can do them at the end. So like this is kind of inspired by Starry Night, but I purposely don't want you to come after me and say that doesn't look anything like it at all. So just inspired by an homage.
That's great, Steve. Thanks. So yeah, I suppose when our interim CEO Philip came in September, he realised that we hadn't had a dedicated awareness day before, and I think today is all about trying to just spread the message of our work and the work of our volunteers. We have so many amazing members as well. 86 members at latest count. A couple of new members coming on in the next few weeks, which will be brilliant to see. But really, we're the whole idea behind mental health reform is to encourage the voice of lived experience to be part of the decision making. It's so important. Like it's key to all of our work. Well, we'd like to think it is, and hopefully the people view it as that as well. And this year being such an important year with the Mental Health Act finally getting reformed, touch wood.
So close.
We're so close. And hopefully some policymakers are viewing in today, and we'll see that call that we have. We're only a couple of stages away from it being enacted into law. It's just that committee stage now. And I know from the outside in it can seem like there's way too many steps for these pieces of legislation to go through.
Yeah.
But this is a piece of legislation we're going to have for generations. The old one was there since 2001, so it's at 24 years.
Yeah.
So hopefully we've been able to contribute to a piece of legislation that'll protect human rights for the next 30 years at least. So that's why it's so important that it gets done correctly. So I know it's taken a little bit of time, but really it should be done by the end of this year, which will be an amazing achievement.
And maybe for the studio audience at home and people who just like to colour in, who aren't really politically minded like me.
Yeah.
What is the process? So you said it's that committee.
Yeah.
So what stage is that from, like the first thought to implementation?
So I mean, just on that, which brush should I use now, Steve? Will I move into this one maybe? Or is that too big?
Yeah, go big or go home.
I'm gonna go big. Yeah, good question. So really, it's been the process for reforming the Act started years ago. It's very outdated. And Minister Butler, who's our current Minister for Mental Health, and she was the previous Minister for Mental Health as well in the previous government, she has brought it through the Dáil. So it's been into the main legislative building. And next up it'll go through the committee stage, and that means basically a group of senators and TDs will debate the bill and can bring amendments, and amendments are basically changes they'd like to see to the new bill.
Okay.
So we have a couple of suggested amendments.
How many are there?
How many amendments?
Yeah.
I think there's around 150. So it's a huge piece of legislation. And don't worry, everyone, we're not going to be talking about legislation the whole time. But it's about 150. But we would have a couple of kind of concerning points, mainly around the admission of children to adult psychiatric units.
Yeah.
So currently, I mean, the numbers are very low. It's there was 5 last year, but still one child in an adult psychiatric unit is too many. Exactly. Yeah. So we'd like to see the new bill kind of fully not banned, but ban this practice. Now, obviously, we understand that in emergencies sometimes a ward is better than no ward, but really what we're doing is building in best practice.
Mm-hmm.
So if we have the best practice of a child not being in there, it means the government has to invest in appropriate facilities for children.
Okay.
So that's what we're kind of aiming for here. Another one would be around having the right to an independent advocate. So lots of people, their mother or father or spouse or best friend could be an advocate for them, and they could write that into their care program. But that could change over time, and sometimes, as we all know, unfortunately, the people who are closest to us can also sometimes be the reason behind our mental health crises. So we'd like the government to have an obligation to provide an independent advocate for people, no matter where they are, so that if at a time of crisis, say they don't want their own appointed advocate to come, that they will. So look, there's a few changes that we'd like to see, but overall, the thrust of the bill we're incredibly positive about, and it's going to be a groundbreaking piece of legislation. Before you came to mental health reform then and kind of came to the psychotherapy world, Steve, where was your background? What was your work kind of like?
Graphic design.
Yeah.
So very dressed in black. We're working with an Apple laptop, and it was very rewarding. And no hate to the graphic designers out there, but I just became kind of disillusioned. Funny enough, during lockdown, which I think was a time when we were all rattled by what was going on, but I think part of me needed to be rattled.
Yeah.
There was only so much satisfaction I could get from doing a poster or proving how clever I am with a new brochure. And I think we all get to that point in our lives. It doesn't have to be necessarily a midlife crisis. I said it, I own it. But it can be just a moment of awakening about like what's really important to me right now.
Yeah.
So it's great to be able to bring that graphic design to mental health reform as well. So I have a lot of fun like doing our social media posts and video graphics and infographics and illustrations. So there'll be plenty more opportunities to use that, but at least I know that I'm putting that into a purpose that I really believe about.
Brilliant. Yeah. And I think you'll see that through our members as well, who again, shout out to all our members that are viewing now and that will view afterwards, but you know, the passion is there in that workforce.
Yeah.
It's not an easy career sometimes. I mean, the stuff we come across every day isn't the easiest to digest, but it can be also very, very, very rewarding. But yeah, the whole point of today is to try and raise a little bit of awareness about the work that we do. And I hope some people who are viewing here were able to join our Coalition Conversations event a couple of weeks ago, which was brilliant. So it was. We had a really interesting discussion on the new health regions. And again, it was a great opportunity for us to get to chat to our members, I suppose, a little bit more. How did you find that, Steve? I know it was kind of your first event to run. So how was it for you?
It was great. I mean, to have the great professional experience of Suzanne from the CEO of Bernardo's and Elaine, the CEO of Disability Federation of Ireland, plus Philip Watt, who is our own interim CEO, who is, if I can say, a brain box when it comes to this restructuring, because it can be a very confusing topic. And for me as a person coming to this topic fresh, it was great to have Philip's guidance and just explaining things in plain English, which I think is something that is often overlooked when we're talking at things at a government level. And maybe part of the role that mental health reform is to translate that a little bit, to take out some of the confusion. And to that point, like we have a guide on the Mental Health Act in plain English as well, which is on our website if you ever want to take a look.
And the website's mentalhealthreform.ie. Everything is linked in our bio as well, so I know everyone's watching on Instagram Live now, but if you're watching back on YouTube, just go ahead and log on to our Mental Health Reform webpage. Oh no.
Run with it, it's okay, it's alright.
Yeah, it's okay to make mistakes. I think mine is too liquidy. Look, this is what happens. It's the first time we've done this.
That's alright, that's okay. I think we should let the studio audience see what's going on here.
Yeah, go on, Steve.
It's alright.
Give it. I've made it too saturated and it's dripping, but look, it's okay.
That's alright, don't worry.
Thanks for your patience, Steve.
Terrible.
Yeah. So to anyone looking at home, if you're doing your own, we're all very kind to each other here. And look, there's so many ways to get involved with our work as well. So if you're viewing it now and you're like, oh, I really like the work, or I like the sound of the work of what Mental Health Reform are doing, how can I get involved? There's a whole get involved site on our webpage. It's got fundraising toolkit that we're updating. It's got ways to get involved in our pre-budget submission campaign. So each year we go to our members and our members of the public and ask them what they'd like to see in the next year's budget from the government. And then from that, then we produce a pre-budget submission, which sometimes get listened to, sometimes doesn't, I suppose. But it's our job to
do it. Yeah.
it's our job to keep advocating for improved budgets in mental health. And in fairness, this year was the highest ever allocation to mental health in a monetary term.
Yeah.
Now, the government should, per their own commitments, be allocating 10% of the overall health budget to mental health. And we're currently at 5.1%. So there is a lot more to do. We are heading in the right direction. We've just kind of stalled between 5 and 6%, which is still hundreds of millions of euro, but a couple of billion euro, but still it's nowhere near enough. You know, we can all see gaps in services that are happening now. You know, it's a hard time for some of our members out there.
Yeah.
Some of them have had their funding cut as well, which is incredibly difficult.
And it's a concerning time for the world economically, but it's in those concerns that mental health is absolutely needed the most. If we have learned anything from multiple recessions and lockdown, it is just critical.
Yeah, and like mental health never happens in isolation. I mean, everything is involved in mental health. You know, we at the beginning of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, you know, we obviously saw an influx of Ukrainian people to Ireland, and lots of times they were saying that the people were not getting treated for mental health, which to me seems pretty common sense, that you would offer, you know, counselling or therapy to people who are, you know, fleeing a war zone, but that just wasn't the case. But I think we are becoming better at it. I'd like to hope that we aren't regressing in any way societally. I think sometimes we can see a little bit of regression societally, but it's our job to keep advocating for people with mental health difficulties.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes we see in the press some scaremongering around people with mental health difficulties, but we know evidence has proven that people suffering from mental health difficulties are far more likely to be the victims of crime than the perpetrators. So, you know, the narrative does need to shift a little bit, and I think our grassroots forum network, which are made up by our brilliant volunteers from our members with people with lived experience, they're brilliant, and they kind of shine a light on people with mental health difficulties and how the work we do can actually change their lives in some respect.
Yeah.
What's our next step here now, Steve? We seem to be filling it out a little bit. We're gonna.
It's going a lot faster than.
I know, it's going a lot faster. It's not looking bad either.
I think we need to talk slowly.
Yeah, that's one thing. Me and Steve talk quite quick. So sorry if anyone is struggling. How have we got? Oh, we've got loads of viewers. This is brilliant to see. Thanks everyone for joining. And like I said, we'll be recording this later. So shout out to the side camera, Steve. Give everyone a wave on YouTube.
Like and subscribe.
That's it. Like and subscribe. Am I sticking with the blues and purple, Steve, or what will we move into?
What does your heart tell you?
I feel like that moon needs to be painted, so I'm excited to paint that moon.
Yeah. So we would do the darker colours first, and then
Okay.
we'd move on. But I think you're really excited you need to blue this in.
Blue it in. Okay, I'll blue it in. Where can I dry my brush here, or where? Thank you. Thank you very much. And yeah, like I said, if anyone's painting along, let us know in the comments. What are you painting? What are you creating today? Thanks, Steve. Actually, I have some. Yeah, it's okay. So, corporate world to mental health reform. Any big differences? Any big changes you can see?
Scale.
Fair enough.
Scale. Yeah, we have had a couple of new joiners. I think when I started the role in January, I made 6, and now we've a complement of 10. Is that correct?
That's we were
keep track.
Yeah, before you came along, we were 5 for a while, so it's a small team.
Yeah.
But oh my god, I don't know what's going on with my paintbrush. Yes, we've had a couple of new joiners, which has been brilliant. So we've got Dr. Louise Rooney, who is our new policy and research manager. So if anyone,
Louise.
Yeah, hi Louise. If anyone has any ideas for campaigns or policy pieces that you feel that we could maybe work on a little bit more, email Louise, Dr. Rooney. All of our emails are available on the staff section of our website, which Steve has transformed, which is brilliant. But yeah, Oh my god, I'm absolutely destroying this painting.
Don't panic.
Yeah.
Don't panic.
Uh,
All right, it's okay. I had my nephews over painting for the weekend, so I'm good in a crisis. There you go.
Thank you, and I'm sure your nephews are way better. But yes, we've had a couple of changes in the staffing, but we're really looking forward to the rest of the year, and the new team is really taken easily to it. I think Steve, you'll agree.
Yeah. So like it is the scale coming from like a corporate design world. There's a lot of hierarchy involved and multiple stakeholders, which is still present to an extent in mental health reform, but due to our size and our common vision as well, we all chip in on projects as well. It feels a lot more egalitarian.
Yeah, and that collaboration piece is there a lot as well, obviously with our members.
Yeah.
So having our members come to our coalition conversations events, and then you're taking part in an event now with Barbara Brennan. So I don't know if Barbara is viewing in now, but Barbara's running a national mental health poster competition.
Poster competition with Mental Health Matters.
Yeah, and I think on poster involved, Suicide or Survive.
Yeah.
A couple of members there, so that'll be an interesting use of your artistic brain as well.
True. I'll be very discerning. I won't be like Simon Cowell, I'll be fair. It's an art competition open to all age groups, so from little kids to groups or teams, and it's to basically like what we're trying to do here, like to encourage people to explore aspects of mental health, maybe not just the negative, but also the beautiful side of it as well, and how can that translate into a poster. So it ran last year, was extremely successful, and this is Barbara's second year running. I'll be on a judging panel along with other colleagues from the volunteer community sphere. So it'll be, looking forward to it.
Yeah, and congrats to Barbara on it's not an easy time to start an organisation up, so it's brilliant to see that. I was on the judging panel last year, and it was the level of entry was brilliant. So I'm sure this year it'll go from strength to strength. Maybe we'll do a workplace entry for this. Be a little bit fair with you. Maybe. I'm gonna get some more paint here. So we also have a new innovation coordinator, Julia Camera, who's very welcome to the team.
Hi, Julia.
Hi, Julia.
Better be watching.
She will be. Julie started a month ago, I'd like to say.
Yeah.
And talk about like hitting the ground running. I already think she's produced a piece of research, so it's absolutely amazing.
Within 3 days, we had her representing mental health reform. We hosted an event involving Eastern Michigan University. So college students from the States came over and talked about throwing her in the deep end.
Yeah.
But she can swim. Yeah, so it was
Brilliant.
Great to have her.
And Julia is part of our innovation team. So we're leaving the circles free, right? Yeah. Julia's part of the innovation team, and they produced a wonderful piece of research in conjunction with the London School of Economics at the start of the year on the economic case for investing in mental health services. Obviously, it's not what we want to have to focus on, but sometimes when you're talking to politicians and government, it does come down to a number, unfortunately. It is important for us to be able to have that research to back up what we're asking for.
Yeah.
It was I think a 15 million euro investment over 5 years results in extra services for 12,000 children through CAMS each year. And then we all know that the importance of early intervention is so important. So, addressing mental health crises and difficulties at a younger age will obviously, reduce the impact as we grow older.
Yeah.
Lessen the impact, not reduce, sorry. This piece of research will be brilliant. And it was backed up by a roadmap with 5 of our members, which was brilliant. We had a launch event in Buzzwells. Again, this is available on our webpage. Steve, you were part of the design process of that piece of work, and I think it was brilliant to see the collaboration again with our members, and how important it was to them as well.
Yeah.
How did you find that process?
I thought it was great. Like just going back to what you talked about data. Like I definitely wouldn't be afraid of data. When we're talking about mental health, it can be a little abstract, and some person's anxiety could be someone else's just a normal Tuesday. But you can't deny that data, like you can't deny the numbers. So it gives us it empowers us to be able to make that argument and take it to government level as well to show that there is going to be a fiscal return in X amount of years for these people. So it was now how they did the math is beyond me. But it was it's great to be a part of that. And as you said, the collaboration between us and now I'll try and get this order right. Bernardo's ISPCC, Pieta, Spun Out, and Tryline.
Jigsaw.
Yeah.
We got there. No, it's brilliant though, and hopefully some of those members are logged in today. And it's only the beginning as well. It's a 5-year roadmap that was produced by those organisations, including ourselves. So the project is only going from strength to strength, and it'd be great to have Julia to head up that campaign over the next 3 years. I think this is starting to look pretty okay. I mean,
are you surprised?
I'm very surprised, and I'm sure people watching are equally surprised. But I think it's looking good. Minus this, but you know what? I kind of like it.
When's the last time you painted, Stephen?
The last time I painted was when I was in TY. So we did, when you get the lino and you etch out the
lino cutting?
Yeah, lino cutting, and then you do an ink press.
Yeah.
I actually thought that was pretty fun. So like the painting element.
I have all that here. We could do an extended live
part two. Part two, if this goes well, we'll do another one. But so that was probably my last, and I still have that piece of lino. It was one of the things I kept from school. I'm a little bit of a sentimental person, so I keep those kind of things. But I don't know. It wasn't for me, and maybe like looking at this now, I obviously picked the wrong profession. I should have been an artist.
I mean, that's lost. You'll never be appreciated in your life.
Like Vincent Van Gogh, actually. His talent was only really discovered after his death, unfortunately.
Yeah, the key word is talent. So it's
one man's talent is another man's. I don't know.
It's all subjective.
TUI probably the last time. Steve, do you use art as a relaxation kind of tool? Like, where does it come in your life?
Yeah, for sure. I guess I can take this camera and show. This was something I did over the weekend, and it was a very involved process of getting a big stick and hitting it, covered in paint, and hitting it on the white canvas in my garden. This is a piece I did. I found that canvas on the street, would you believe it or not? And then this is a piece I was commissioned to do as well. So this is one of the bigger ones. And as you can see, like there's lots of mistakes and lots of things go wrong, but that's part of the joy of it.
That's brilliant.
I'll get that camera back up now.
They all look super, and I can see here there's another one that people can't see, but I can describe it. It's very similar to what the colour scheme is actually quite similar to what we're doing now. So I suppose the greens and blues speak to you a little bit more. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah.
I'm just seeing kind of a theme. It's cool. I like it.
It's more calming.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Love this.
So I say, is this calming? Is this calming for you?
I think it's calming.
Yeah.
Beforehand I was certainly not calm. And I think that's something that most people, even the people watching, can appreciate, that before any kind of live event or any kind of major work event, you do get that little bit of nerves, that nervous butterfly energy, excitement as well, for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't think that ever changes, no matter how experienced or new you are to a team. I think that level of nervousness is there, but it's about how we kind of process it and get through it.
Yeah.
This is definitely
this is different though, because you can read all like the TED books on TED Talks and practice your speech 15 times beforehand, but there's zero room for error here, so I guess you just embrace the errors.
Oh yeah, Steve and I had a full script for this, by the way, as well, and we're just absolutely ad-libbing now.
Yeah.
So again, you can do all the prep you want in the world, but as long as I say that there's a link in our bio with a donate button, and it'll also bring you towards the Starry Night website, any donations would be really, really appreciated. look, we kind of did the math the other day, and €10 donation facilitates us to be able to bring a member of our grassroots forum to any of our advocacy campaigns in Leinster House, in-person meetings. We don't get funded for advocacy work. We get funded for projects and research and stuff like that. But when we're advocating for increased funding from the government for the mental health budget, that comes out of our own budget, and that's thanks to the amazing fundraising and donations that the public do. So anything would be very welcome. And I'm sure Wendy, who is our governance manager, would be delighted to see a couple of Stripe donations today. So please give what you can. Yeah, please give what you can. Anything would be greatly appreciated. Link in bio there. That was a real influencer talk.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're really filled in. Have you ever done anything like this before, Steve? Have you ever painted?
Absolutely not. I've never painted
in front of people?
Canvas, but no, not at all. Wondering, do you want to mix it up and you paint on my side? See if we can balance them out.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Fair enough. That's a very nice way of Steve saying, "Can I fix your side and you can ruin my side?"
So make me a cup of tea.
I'll go make the tea, everyone. I'll get the dog.
You're doing great. So I think what we want is for the stars, we're going to need some yellow, which I have here.
Yeah. So for anyone who joined us a little bit late, today is our first ever Awareness Day, Mental Health Reform's first ever Awareness Day, and the theme of this year's Awareness Day is Starry Night. And Steve and I are we're doing a version of Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night, which means a lot to a lot of people. I know that Vincent van Gogh is a person who had mental health difficulties for sure, and unfortunately was not recognised for his talent while he was alive. If he was alive today, he probably would have been able to receive the support that would have been able to,
make a difference.
Exactly. And I know we live in a country where things are certainly not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. But I'd like to think that we're moving towards a society where mental health difficulties are respected, and people with mental health difficulties are able to live in a country where their voices are heard. And that's what we try to do. So that's what we're doing today. And if you go onto our social media pages throughout the day, you'll see some interviews with our staff members that Steve did during the week. The little biography, Steve. Do you want to talk through them a little bit?
Yeah, well, as this is an awareness day, I thought it would be appropriate for you to actually get to know us, the people behind the research and the policies and the social media posts. I think we all have a story in this charity sector of reasons to come to this help and advocacy work in mental health. And just to put a personal touch on it, I think we can get lost in research and statistics, whether we are talking about people experiencing mental health difficulties or just the subject at large. So to be able to actually put a name, Stephen, and a face to the people behind that work, I thought is very important. So you'll see hopefully a little bit of information about this Stephen, some information about this Stephen, and our colleagues Louise and Julia as well.
And then if you go onto our media section, or on our YouTube page, there's a couple of podcasts with our interim CEO, Philip Watt, as well. So you can hear from Philip, you can hear his voice.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, and I'm sure before Philip finishes up, we'll do an interview with Philip as well. Okay, I think I'm going to move on to... I'm actually going to grab a little touch of water, if that's okay. Leave Steve on his own for a minute.
Steve, looking at me.
It's brilliant to see it come together, though. It really is. Mm. How long would you usually spend? Does it depend? Is it how long is a piece of string? How long would you usually spend on a piece of work this size? If you were taking taking your time and
maybe a couple of days. I think I did that with oils, and that was a big mistake because it just would not dry.
okay.
So a lot of hair dryer over a couple of days. This one I did in about 3 hours, and the big shtick one I did in about 7 minutes.
Oh really?
It really depends.
Wow. Okay. 7 minutes. My God.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of painting. Like, we're using paintbrushes here, but you can use whatever you have to hand. Like, I've done lots of nice stuff with like brushes or cellophane, cling film, bubble wrap, anything that makes a texture. Put it on a canvas.
And other than art, what do you like to do to unwind, Steve?
I'm a devil for horror films.
Oh, cool.
I find that's a great way to unwind after a long day, because I don't know, you get to experience all those fears, like the stress, negative emotions, if you want to call them negative, of fear, but you know that you're safe.
Okay.
It's probably the same reason I love roller coasters as well. I love that kind of thrill.
I'm a big fan of roller coasters as well.
We'll do our next outing at Emerald Park.
100%. Yeah. God, this isn't sponsored, but I miss it. I miss when it was called Tato Park. We all do, let's be real. Although if Tato do want to get involved and sponsor us, that would be brilliant. Yeah, for me, I'm kind of an old cliche. I love going for a walk, just sticking the headphones in, getting out there. I live in Rathmines, so it's a little tricky sometimes to get out into nature, but we've got a couple of lovely parks very close to us that you can.
It's all around. You've got the Bushy Park, you've got the canal.
Herbert Park, yeah. Look, I mean, even if you're living in the city centre, and I don't think many people know this, you can always pop into Trinity College and go for a walk around the campus, and it's incredibly quiet. You know, it's right in the city centre, but it's an excellent opportunity to get out of the bustle of Dame Street, because it's so loud. You can just go into Trinity and walk around for a little bit and have that little bit of zen moment if you want.
Let's bring you back to your old college days.
Oh, look, that's what they say. How do you know someone went to Trinity? Because they brought it up in conversation. Thanks, Steve. No, it does though. I mean, look, to be honest, when we were in college, we probably hated people who walked around campus because they got in our way. But now as an adult, as a professional, I can see the benefit to it. Yeah, never thought I'd be painting on a live Instagram for mental health when I was in college anyway, that's for sure. But that's the way life brings you.
Bigger plans for you.
Yeah, my background is more in political advocacy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I try and bring to mental health reform. Oh, we have a comment, Steve. We have a comment saying, "You're both doing fantastically. Donation sent. Well done, Stephen squared. Mr. Donnelly is amazingly talented. I can fully attest to that."
Is that my mum?
I think it might be your mum. Thanks, Stephen's mum.
Thank you very much.
We got a hi, guys, from Wendy. Hi, Wendy. But yes, thank you for the donation, LBC.
Much appreciated. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Stephen Squared. That's definitely what we're going to do now.
That sounds cool.
That's way cooler than the Stevens.
I was just thinking of like the two Johnnies, or
yeah, true.
like a poor man's version of Ant and Deck.
Oh, Steve, it's 11:45 somehow. So we're after flying through this. So we are.
Okay.
We have 15 minutes left, everyone. So as you can see, we're actually like nearing the end of our painting, but I'm going to drop and move to yellow. Oh, it's Denise. So thanks, Denise.
Thanks, Denise.
Thanks, Denise. I am going to grab a little bit of yellow. That's right, yellow.
It's the yellow.
It's the yellow.
Yeah.
Cool. No, get this paintbrush.
So you have to figure out what we're going to do with this painting once it's dry.
I know, yeah. Well, I mean, there's rumour of it being hung in the office, which I think would be nice.
Yeah.
But I also think that maybe later on in the year, we definitely will be having a couple of in-person events. So maybe we could raffle of our painting.
Raffle sounds good.
If people feel like they'd like to buy our painting
And improve it.
they definitely can. But yeah, that won't be for a couple of months. But yeah, let's let it dry. We'll see what the market is like for an amateur painting. But I think we could do well on this. But it'll definitely hang in the office for a little bit. And I found this very enjoyable. I don't know about you, Steve.
Yeah, it's very fun.
Yeah. Gets us out of the office, something to do.
Yeah, and it gets us out of our comfort zone as well.
Totally.
So it could have been easy for us to just not do this, but I think it's if you want to put your money where your mouth is and increase awareness, it's all about getting your name out there.
Definitely. And yeah, look, I mean, this is something that can be replicated by other people in their offices. You know, we always encourage people to do fundraisers for us. So if you feel like you'd like to host a paint along at another time, just get in contact with myself or Steve. Our info is available on the website. We can send you out a fundraising pack, some ideas. It doesn't have to be a paint along, it could be a bake sale, it could be a bike-a-thon, I think.
Coffee morning, table quiz, 5K,
Anything.
Helen back challenge. Like the opportunities are endless.
Definitely. And like we said, all of the money raised through this goes towards our advocacy work, where we fight for improved funding for mental health services in Ireland, one of the main key things that we do. And we also can bring a light towards maybe some smaller projects, some kind of niche projects as well.
Yeah.
This year we're going to be doing a project on the employment rights of people with left experience mental health difficulties.
Okay.
So kind of addressing that stigma in the workplace. That it's definitely improved. I think there's less stigma in the workplace, but it still exists to an extent. So later on in the year, we'll be compiling a little briefing document on that. And again, that's all thanks to the amazing fundraising that the public do for us. And then if there's any corporates watching, hopefully there are, you can get in contact with myself. And we're always looking for corporate partners who have a passion for mental health in Ireland.
Yeah.
Our amazing Louise offers some trainings in mental health in the workplace, and she has one coming up on the 3rd of July actually. So again, if your workplace would like to receive some training for mental health reform on mental health in the workplace, just get in touch with myself or Louise, and we can point you in the right direction.
Yeah, that can be done in person. That's better. In person, online, lunchtime webinars, lunchtime seminars, over a variety of different topics.
Yeah. The idea is we come to you wherever you're available because it's important that it happens in the first place, you know? Yeah. Okay, blue here. Into the middle a little bit.
I'm sure it's done there. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Will I do this one for you?
Yeah, please do. And yeah, I hope everyone has found today enjoyable. We're not finished just yet, but we are nearing the end of our hour together. I feel like Bob Ross a little bit. Did you ever watch Bob Ross videos?
Yeah, I don't think he's got anything to worry about now, Stephen.
No, I know. His voice. We talk about what we do to relax. Yeah. I could watch a Bob Ross video and be put to sleep in a good way.
Yeah. It's always the same landscape, right?
Yeah. I think he starts, it's like, what is it he says? Little trees. Just small little trees here. This is a small little moon here. Yeah. Hopefully we haven't lost too many people. Hopefully people have been engaged and found today useful.
And anything that you've painted, doodled, sketched, drawn, if you want to put it on social and tag us at MH Reform, it would be great to show and to see what you've come up with.
Yeah, we'll be sharing those throughout the day and then kind of going forward as well over the next couple of days. Highlighting the work that people have done, including ourselves. But yeah, I think it's been a very successful awareness raising day, Steve, so far. For sure. And yeah.
I can't believe how pleasantly surprised you are. Like you are.
I'm actually shocked.
The camera isn't picking
I don't
up.
think they can see. I'm actually going to bring them forward show off our work.
Yeah, do.
Thanks, Louise. So here we go, guys. This has been an hour of our work. Almost finishing up. For those of you who are joining in late, it was blank when we started, we promise. We haven't stolen this from the Louvre. They can hang it in the Louvre if they want, but that's been our work for today. And yeah, just to kind of wrap up, I suppose, the whole idea behind today is to raise awareness for our work, whether that's our research, our policy, the amazing campaigning that we do, our grassroots forum network, our members, too many to name. But if you go onto our website, that's currently being redesigned page by Steve, which is brilliant as well. It really breaks down all of the work that we do. Too much to name sometimes in individual social media posts. And I think the thing that people don't realise about mental health reform is that we're only 9 staff members. You know, the output is pretty high, I think, for 9 staff members. And we really try to do our best to advocate for improved mental health services in Ireland. Whether that's through events like this, whether it's through going into the Dáil and speaking to public reps. But we're nothing without our members, without you guys watching us right now, with the Grassroots Forum Network. But yeah, it's been brilliant. I'll say it one more time, and I know people are probably sick of me saying it, but
Say it too.
link in the description, and I'll say this to YouTube as well. Link in the description has a donate button. As I said earlier, €10 can go towards helping us fund a Grassroots Forum member to go to any of our events, for transport, for lunch, etc. We don't get funding for advocacy, and events like this are key to help us have those funds. And then, yeah, you can find out more about our Starry Night Day on our webpage. Also, link in bio. Are we nearing the end, Steve?
I think mic drop.
I've been Stephen Shield.
Have you seen Danny?
And we really hope you've enjoyed today. Thanks for spending an hour with us.
Yeah, time flies when you're having fun, right?
That's it. And yeah, see you later, everyone.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.